Well, a lot of you might be wondering, what does a college president and his wife do when you're sheltering in place? Well, we hang out the creek in our,
That's right. We do a lot of cooking together too.
Yeah, we do. In fact, I'm learning to cook. And we think it might be an opportunity to teach you a little bit how to cook.
And I'm thinking about sharing a recipe that I pretty much hooked him with.
Because after our first date, someone brought me some apple bread, and the rest, they say, is history.
I'll share the recipe with you.
Hi, everyone. So, as you know, all of us are sequestered to our home.
We've been cleaning and organizing and just about anything you can do in your home. And I was going through the bookshelves where my cookbooks are, and I found this little cookbook calendar. Yes, you can see what year it's from, 1983. And that was the year that I met David Joyce.
I was 14.
You wish. I was working for Duke Power Company, now Duke Energy, and working as a home economist or a consumer education representative. And we would put together these calendars, and we would put all the recipes in them. So I would make everything in this calendar. And there was one particular recipe that was very, very special, and that was apple bread.
After our first date, she brought me some apple bread. And living in Meisenheimer as a college minister at my alma mater, there are not a lot of places to go out to eat. That led to the second date. That led to the second date. And a third date.
So after all these years, I got the calendar out again, and I decided for fun, we would just make some apple bread. Here is the result of one that I pre-made. So what do you think? You think it's pretty good? Pretty good.
Yep, that's why I married her.
Well, this recipe is probably not one of the more healthy recipes that you're ever going to see, especially these days. There's a lot of sugar. You're addicted to sugar anyway.
This sugar.
That.
And your sugar.
Speaking of sugar, you can even sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar over the top of it. And that really adds a little touch. If you're going to give it to someone for a gift, that's a good thing to do.
Or
you can just do one.
you can just dip it.
Dip it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is decide on the pan that you want to cook it in. And you can bake in a loaf pan, or this little pound cake pan is the actual pan. Yes, this is the actual pan that I made the apple bread in so many years ago. One of the things you want to do is just lightly grease the pan with a little cooking spray, and then a little flour, around to dust it, shake it, shake and bake.
Why do you do that? Keep it from sticking?
It'll keep it from sticking.
Oh, okay. Never knew that.
You didn't? You need to be in the kitchen more.
This is very experiential.
So you don't want to forget the center. So you can sprinkle a little here, a little there. So the pan is ready, and all we need to do now is go over to the mixer, and this is where you come in. Okay, so let's mix this up, get it in the pan, and bake it. I've already preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna post the recipe, but I'll tell you as we go along. All right, so 1.5 cups of vegetable oil, and we're going to beat that with the sugar, which is 2 cups. I know you love that.
Sugar.
And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on for a minute, okay? Oh, that's not allowed. And then the next thing we're getting ready to do, we're gonna add in a couple of ingredients that we're going to mix in with the flour. Okay, we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. If it were up to David, he would have a cup of cinnamon. And we're gonna put, okay, actually, it's okay. No, we don't need any more. But if I were you, I would put the dry ingredients together. So that teaspoon of cinnamon that he just put in here, I'd go ahead and put in there. So it's okay. No, don't put any more. More. All right, but you can put a teaspoon of baking powder. This is one you have to be a little bit, can't be a heaping. It needs to be pretty flat. Yeah, good job. Into the dry. Into the dry. Thank you. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. So a teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt goes into the dry ingredient. We need a teaspoon of vanilla, and I always put my vanilla in with the eggs. And this recipe calls for 3 eggs, and so we have now 3 eggs that are with 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we have 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon.
And
a
1
teaspoon
teaspoon
gets a lot of use.
of vanilla.
1 teaspoon of vanilla.
The 3
So I'm
eggs.
going to turn it on, and we're going to put the eggs in first, mix those really well, and then we're going to add in the flour. You're doing well there.
I'm coachable.
I think you're a baker. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to go down well. Mix it really
It
well.
looks good.
and
It's
then
light brown. It's,
yeah,
doughy.
you could use a little more cinnamon in there, couldn't you?
yeah, sure can.
You okay? Now, one thing, can you get your spec? Are you really gonna put all that in there? You can put the rest of that in there. No, don't put any more. You love cinnamon, I'm telling you.
One with sugar. Yeah, let's do
That's
that.
what we have every morning breakfast. I think there was another teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half. All right, can you get that spatula right there?
I can.
And just kind of scrape down the beater a little bit before I turn it back on, and make sure that all the good stuff is going in there.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
That was difficult.
Now you can really smell the cinnamon, but you'll really smell the cinnamon when it starts baking. Okay, so what we're gonna do is now move over to the counter where we started, and we're gonna mix in the last 2 ingredients, which is a cup of apple pie filling. This is your next job. A cup of apple pie filling and a cup of chopped pecans.
I follow orders very well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been 1 hour later. Doesn't time fly when you're waiting for the food? So anyway, here it is.
That's right, it's our apple bread.
So tell me a little bit about the real story behind the apple bread before we
What
cut
do you
into
mean
the
real
story.
story?
Well, we went out on our first date. Then later you came by and visited me and brought me a loaf of apple bread. But I noticed there were 2 loaves in your car.
No. We went out on the first date, and I had a lot of fun. I was kind of hoping you did.
I did, obviously. How many apple breads were there in your car?
There might have been 2.
And what was the other one for?
There might have been another person to deliver that to at that time.
Well, who got the prettiest spot? Okay.
You got the best.
Then it's all good. Oh, that looks good.
It's very dense.
If you could smell this.
It's yummy.
That extra cinnamon was the right ingredient.
I think it was. I think it could be called pecan apple cake.
I think it should be called, in the order of importance, cinnamon, sugar, pecan,
Apple cake. You got it, babe. Here's to 35 more years.
Be well, be safe.
Take
be
care.
happy. Still warm.